Hello and welcome to the Fluency First podcast. I'm here with my very own older sister, Rachel. So say hi, guys. Rachel, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Everyone, Rachel. So my sister reluctantly accepted to come on the channel and do a short interview, although I think it might be a bit longer than expected. But yeah, if you're new here, we always start with small talk. So that's a bit like chit chat, usually questions about how you're doing, the weekend, the weather. So Rachel, firstly, welcome to the channel.
Thank you. Nice to have me eventually.
Eventually. Rachel isn't my only sister. I also have a younger sister, Emily, who is a bit shy. But I feel that eventually she will come on the channel.
I'm also very shy.
Oh, Rachel's also very shy.
I'd say I'm more shy than Emily.
Yeah. I think maybe Emily just doesn't want to be on the channel, which is fair. Not everyone wants to publicly show their, face to the world. So welcome, Rachel.
Thank you.
So tell me, what have you been up to recently? How has your week been so far? Yeah, how has your week been so far?
I think it's been a very stressful week at work this week. But the weekend has been nice. Unexpectedly today, we all went back to Mum and Dad's house for breakfast. That wasn't planned, but that was a really nice highlight for me for the week.
Oh,
it's a nice way to end a very stressful week before going back to work next week.
Yeah, so this morning we went to the park. Your youngest son joined the park run. He participated in the park run, right?
Yep, even though it was raining.
It's raining. How would you describe what the park run is? What's the park run?
It's really nice. It's got like a community feel. Everybody comes together at 9 o'clock in the morning and they do a warm-up together, which they don't do for the adult park run, but I think it's a really nice way to start the park run. They all join in together. It's very nice. And then the kids one is a 2K lap around the park with lots of people cheering and supporting.
And there are a lot of volunteers, aren't there? Are they volunteers?
Yeah, I think it's every 100 metres they have to have a volunteer. So there's a lot of volunteers that they require to actually run the park run. If they don't get enough volunteers, they aren't able to run it.
It's very impressive. And there's also a park run for everyone on Saturdays.
Super popular.
But yeah, so while he was doing the park run, my oldest nephew, he's into basketball. Hi, Santi. Maybe he'll come on the channel. He wants to be on the channel. We played a bit of basketball. So yeah. And you talked about work a little bit. You used to be a teacher.
Yep.
You do work in a school.
Yep.
But actually, you're bossing everyone around, in a sense.
I don't feel like that. But yeah, I am a head teacher.
Yeah, head teacher or school principal, you might hear from American shows.
My job title is actually principal at my school. But yeah, some people find that unusual. They don't know what it means because it's quite an American word.
Mm. All right, well, let's move on to some other topics. How about we start with our childhood, right? Early life.
Yeah.
What do you remember most about our childhood?
I think we had a busy childhood. Like we were always doing activities and like family trips out and things like that. I remember a lot of that. But I remember squabbling or fighting with you quite a lot.
Fighting? I don't remember fighting.
I remember Mum and Dad often telling us off for arguing all the time. But I don't remember that being like a difficult part of growing up. Like I feel like that was just how we communicated as kids together. Like I felt like we were very close and we like played a lot together. Whereas Mum and Dad thought we argued a lot. So their perception is quite different, I think, to what we felt.
Yeah, interesting observation. Okay. Yeah, well, early childhood, I remember us, for example, we would go on holiday and we'd both make friends with other kids.
Yeah. We'd hang out a lot.
Yeah, I remember you wanting to play like school a lot. She always wanted to be the teacher. Surprise, surprise.
You never wanted to play that much as like schools as the game.
And Emily was always just the baby sitting in the classroom.
But Emily would join in more. And then I got to play schools with her.
Yeah, Emily wanted to be part of it. Okay, so what kind of child were you? Were you quiet, confident, shy, bossy, dare I say?
Maybe I was bossy with you at home because I was the older one. But I think as a kid, generally, I was very, very shy and quiet. Like I would never put my hand up in class.
Would you not?
No.
Ever?
Hardly ever. Or I'd have to like psych myself up to put my hand up, I think.
You see, I find it very interesting that even today you're, a bit of an introvert. Maybe you're a bit shy. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, definitely.
Yet you're a head teacher of a school, a busy school,
It is a busy
demanding school with a lot that needs to be done all the time, a lot of fires that need to be put out, so to speak.
Yeah.
And yet your personality, on the surface, on a superficial level, I wouldn't be like, oh, she's a head teacher.
No, I think it does surprise people sometimes because I especially don't like speaking in public, I guess. But as a head teacher, I don't do that a lot. Like I deliver assemblies and things like that sometimes, but we take it in turns with other teachers doing that as well. And I think sometimes my leadership style as a head teacher is not about being bossy. It's about listening to people, finding out what issues there are and trying to solve those things together and collaboratively. So I'm maybe not a traditional personality for being a head teacher, I think.
All right. What was our family life like when we were growing up? So you can answer any way you want here.
I think it was chaotic.
Chaotic?
Yeah. And I think I think we were very loud, like as kids. Like I remember Mum and Dad, for one of their work things that they were doing, they recorded a family dinner where they analysed and did a transcription for like some sort of coaching thing.
Oh, right.
And the amount of times we interrupted each other was huge.
So why do you think we did that?
I think it's just our personalities. I think everybody's quite different. I think that's still similar now. Like when we go back home and we're all there together, it's very loud and busy and people are just doing their own thing and people are coming and going freely.
I would say I'm quite quiet when everyone's around.
Maybe.
Yeah, I'm either in the kitchen, having a cup of coffee, or in the back chair like today, silently eating my eggs and...
I would not say you were eating it silently. You were sat chatting.
Yeah, fine, I was chatting. Yeah,
I went to the kitchen with Mum and had a quiet coffee.
Well, I was in the kitchen first. You see, we're already arguing, everyone. We're already arguing about who was in the kitchen.
We were both in the kitchen.
I was first, anyway.
But I think that's really different to like my husband's family, for example. Like they're much quieter. And I think that is very, very different to our family life.
Interesting. I also remember you being somewhat of a rebel.
Maybe.
Excuse me. I mean, we won't go into too much detail, but when I was 13 and you were 15, for example, or when you were 16, those were your rebel years.
I would agree with that, yeah.
And I was shocked at her behaviour.
But being the oldest one, I feel like I had to push the boundaries.
Push the bound? Yeah. There was no room for me to rebel because Rachel did everything.
Yeah, probably.
So I was just a good, diligent student. And I ended up studying very hard and got good grades.
So did I.
Well, who got the better grades? I'm just joking, guys. It was me, by the way.
I don't think it was.
I got all A's.
Did you? What, for GCSE?
No, A-level.
For A-level, we got all A's?
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, we did better. Maybe you did study more.
Okay, so looking back now, what do you think our parents did well? And if you're watching this, I assume you've already met Ian and Wendy. You've met most of my family now, so you know what they're like. But what do you think? What do you think they did well?
I think they were kind, and I think that made us think about other people. So I think actually it's a really hard question, that one. But I think there's a lot of things. But I think the other thing that strikes me really strongly is that they always believed in us, and they always kind of pushed us to kind of meet the aspirations that we set out for ourselves. I think that's something that I definitely got from mum and dad.
Interesting. I think like mum was quite self-helpy. What I mean by that is like she read a lot of like self-help books, but in a way they helped me. And I'm into like self-help books, you know.
Yeah.
I love reading self-help books. But also mum and dad never told me once to do my homework. Isn't that interesting?
Yeah.
They were never like, David, sit down and do your homework. That never happened.
No. But
Yet,
think,
I did really well at school.
Yeah, but I think they approached it in the right way. So I think it was about what, like, learning and doing things that you're passionate about and like following your interests. And learning was always something that they were really keen to show that they were still learning with things. So I think it wasn't necessarily like schoolwork that they were pushing, but like we would often do things that were interesting or educational, but we did it because it was fun and interesting. We wanted to learn things rather than it being sit down and read your book.
Yeah, I definitely followed my interests.
Yeah.
But yeah, interesting, right? It's interesting to think about.
Yeah.
And how has that influenced how you are as a parent?
Probably quite similar.
Really?
I think it's always hard. Parenting is really difficult because you've got different children. I think you can't be the same parent necessarily to both because they need different things. But I think mum and dad, they were slightly different with each of us.
Okay, we're going to move on now and talk a little bit about you becoming a teacher.
Okay.
So I kind of mentioned earlier that, you know, when we were young, you always wanted to play school and forced me to play with you. Rachel was always the teacher, though. That's what annoyed me. I was always the student.
You're always having to do the homework or the lessons.
Yeah. So yeah, when did you first know that you wanted to be a teacher?
I think it was really early. I can't say exactly what age, but the first job I wanted when I was really little, maybe like 3 or 4, was a farmer.
I was going to say like that's what I remember, Farmer Rachel.
But that's because I loved animals, and I wanted, like, I guess we probably visited farms and like, you know, city farms as a family, and I loved that. But then I realised that most farms, they have to kill the animals because that's farming, like meat farming, or you know. And I was vegetarian for a lot of my childhood, so I quickly went off the idea of farming because of that. But then pretty much straight after farming, probably about 5, I wanted to be a teacher. And I think that because I had that as something that I wanted to do from such a young age, it made it really easy to know what I was doing at school. Like, it was like, I know lots of people find it difficult to think of what job they want or like what they want to study at uni. Whereas for me, that was so easy because I'd set it from probably age 5 or 6.
So crazy. You're quite lucky in that respect.
Yeah, I think it is. I think it's nice.
Because I kind of fell into teaching, but I think that teaching is in our blood.
I mean, yeah, probably.
Like both mum and dad are teachers in a sense.
Yeah.
Right?
And dad's dad.
Exactly. Grandad Norman,
Yeah.
my father's father, he was an English teacher and also taught woodwork. Grandad Peter, who's sick at the moment, we'll talk about him later. He also taught English in Thailand for some time.
Oh, yeah, true.
You know, so it's like, I feel like teaching's definitely in the family.
Yeah.
Like, for example, today, playing basketball, like I loved coaching Santi, my nephew, basketball. I love teaching in every respect, you know? Like, same with taking Jean, my wife, to play snooker. She, even though she's amazing, I gave her some tips and now she's way better than me.
She didn't need any tips.
No, this is actually your interview and I'm blabbering on about myself, so I'm going to move on. Yeah, so I wanted to know, when did you realize you wanted to be in like leadership roles, you know? Like a head teacher.
Yeah, I think I fell into that because I was really passionate about wanting to always stay in the classroom. Like, I really enjoyed being with the children, like I really enjoyed teaching. So it was quite a big shift in my thinking, actually, to like think about moving into leadership because it takes you away from being in the classroom. And I used to work in reception, so kind of, or kindergarten, I guess a lot of people know it as. And that was like my joy was with them. I think it probably was when I stepped into early years leadership. So like working with other teachers, and there was a few more inexperienced teachers that I was working with, and I could see the development of them, and then that in turn kind of coming through into their teaching. And so, for example, I would see things that I implemented in my classroom helping my students, but then if I helped another teacher, it would also come through into their classrooms and help more children. So then I really enjoyed that, seeing adults develop and like the way that you can impact more students. So I think that's where it started. And then I became a deputy head and saw that a bit more wider in the school. Because I don't think I really ever set out to be a head teacher. I think deputy head, I was happy.
Organically.
Yeah, it was definitely organic. But then I really enjoyed it's this collaborating and helping others learn.
Now we're going to talk about the time you moved to Spain. So you lived in Spain for quite a while, didn't you?
Yeah.
How many years? Do you remember?
I think it was 12 years. So it's a long time.
Quite a long time. Yeah, so let's definitely talk about that. So firstly, what made you decide to move to Spain?
So my now husband, at the time boyfriend, was working in Barcelona at the time, and I was working in Lincoln, which is quite a rural place in the UK, less exciting than Barcelona. And when we first got together, he wasn't keen to come back, especially to Lincoln. So I decided to go out and join him where he was. And I think we thought we'd probably be there a year or two. There wasn't as many schools in Barcelona, so we picked just another random place, which happened to be Madrid. And
Madrid doesn't feel random though.
Well, in Spain it was. It was just like we picked it randomly. We'd never visited. So the first time I visited was after I'd got the job.
That's crazy.
So we were hoping that we would like it, but we were willing to just go there for a year and see how it is. And if it wasn't great, then we would move somewhere else. But once we got to Madrid, we ended up staying for 12 years, which definitely wasn't planned.
What are your best memories from that time living in Madrid?
I think living in the capital, you get different things. Like now where we live, we don't have access to like big museums and art galleries and things like that. So I really enjoyed being there. And I think there was loads of great museums and things that we enjoyed a lot. And also the mountains by Madrid. We would often go out into the mountains and go walking and things. And I really liked that.
How would you describe the people of Madrid? Like, you know, you've lived in Spain for a long time. Instead of saying like, what are the Spanish like? How do you describe the people of Madrid? Like general vibes. We don't need to drop any cliches or stereotypes.
But I think it was very different to Barcelona. So I had been used to Barcelona, which felt very kind of like hippie, I think, like quite free.
Okay.
And then moving to Madrid was quite a shock because it was so different to Barcelona. People were a lot kind of posher and like fancier, like people's clothes and things, people would dress up. And often like the children would all be wearing the same as the adults, like they'd all have like a family outfit that looked very...
So it's very like upper middle class.
Yeah, I think you could feel it's where the monarchy was. Like you could feel that, I think. And that took maybe a couple of years for me to get used to.
Interesting.
But I liked it in the end.
And what was daily life like there for you compared to the UK? Any kind of comparison?
I think it's more spontaneous. Like I think the day is longer. So people are, do you know, like you finish school here at 3:30 and people say like, have a good evening. And it's like, it's like lunchtime in Spain. Yeah. Whereas in Spain you finish at 5, schools finish at 5. And you would then meet people for drinks, you might go home, then you might come out again for dinner at like 9 or 10. So there was the day you could fit more into it. You know, shops would be open later, whereas here everything feels like a rush into the evening, I think.
I always wondered though, like, you know, in Spain, if people go to bed so late and they wake up normal time, don't they? Like, how do they live like that?
I think it's a bit later. like a lot of shops, they're not open in the morning.
They open at like 10.
Yeah, yeah.
Interesting. It was cool. It was always fun visiting you. I always found Spanish to be a really difficult language, and it is known to be one of the fastest languages in the world. Did you know that?
Oh, when people speak Spanish, yeah.
Spanish
very fast.
and Japanese in terms of like, anyway, I won't explain too much, but what was it like learning Spanish for you?
I'm not a natural linguist like you and Mum. So I think I found learning a language really difficult. And I think the thought that it's like the journey of learning the language is forever. It's not like you can put like 2 years of study in and then you've got Spanish.
Well, I know a lot of students that do that. They study and get the C1 certificate, and then they stop learning English. Like they're like, I'm done. Then I meet them 2 years later, and they're back in like low B2 level. Like so, it's like if you don't maintain it, if you stop going to the gym, you're going to lose muscles, aren't you?
Yeah.
Muscle, rather. No, you don't lose the muscles. It's interesting. Yeah, and can I just quickly say, like, I'm not a natural linguist. I am. Well, listen, no, hear me out. I'm dyslexic. I have a hearing problem. Okay, I had a speech problem when I was a kid, and I still have issues with that. I'm also very shy, and I'm a perfectionist. So,
how do you overcome all of those things to learn a language?
Great question, Rachel, and thank you for asking. It's passion. It's passion. It's like, how passionate are you about the language, or how strong is the need to learn it?
Yeah.
So for me, French was my passion. It was my first love, true love. Whereas not Italian, Korean was just a pure necessity. Anyway, back onto your interview, Rachel. Sorry.
But I think I when I went, I had no Spanish at all, and out of necessity, I had to learn Spanish so that you can go to the doctors. Like I had children there, so I needed that. But I wouldn't get any further, like out of necessity. Like I would get as far as I needed to do the things I needed to do: go to the bank, go to the shop, go to restaurants, meet friends.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't have that passion that you've got to learn everything. I don't know. You're constantly driving to learn more and more. I don't have that with Spanish anyway.
Yeah, I have maybe a severe obsessive streak. Do you have an obsessive?
I definitely do. I think I have
because...
like the what's the word? Neurotic streak is what I think it comes. No, but it's part of passion. Like it's part of that when you look at personalities.
Oh right, okay. Because when we talk about being neurotic, usually that's about like worrying all the time. Yeah,
but it can be that it's that passion streak that you get in a personality where you really want to just like you're thirsty for more knowledge.
You said about you had kids in Spain, right? You gave birth. No, you gave birth to both of them in Spain.
No, one of them because I had pregnancy complications, and whilst on holiday in England seeing family, got stuck here, so I had to have my second child back in the UK.
But they grew up in Spain.
Yeah, they grew up in Spain.
What was that like, having two kids in Spain?
I think it was a really great place to have kids, actually. I think the Spanish generally absolutely love children, and that comes through in everything that you do in Spain. And the kids could feel that difference when they moved back here. Like, for example, if you go to a restaurant, he had blonde hair and blue eyes at the beginning, which is quite uncommon in Spain. And, waitresses and waiters, they'd pick him up and take him off to the kitchen and like show everybody in, and he'd love that attention. And the same with like on the bus, people would chat to children. Everywhere you go, children are just part of everything. And when they came back here, Santi was shocked that people didn't seem to love him everywhere.
He didn't have the same attention.
Yeah,
that's really interesting though. So what was challenging about having kids abroad? Bringing them up.
I think a couple of things. Like one, I wasn't fluent in Spanish, so doing everything required like more cognitive load. Like I had to.
Very difficult word. That I'll leave that on the screen for a while.
But I had to think about everything before doing anything. So like if I'm making an appointment to take them to the doctors for their vaccinations, I have to look up vocabulary. I have to like practice what I'm saying, or that's an extra layer of parenting that that I don't have now, and that makes things easier. But I think also just being away from family, like they came to the school that I was teaching at. So in the morning they would be there in the breakfast club with me, and then they'd be there through the day, and then at home they'd be in the after school club and then go home together. Like there wasn't any time apart.
So it's very intense.
It was very intense.
And of course they had to live through COVID in Spain.
Yeah.
Where the lockdown was
really severe.
Yeah, serious and
yeah, very different to the UK.
Because they were not allowed out at all, were they?
No, for several weeks you couldn't go outside even to take like the rubbish out. We lived in a flat, so I used to make them sit in sun patches because then they weren't getting any like sunlight.
Vitamin D.
Yeah.
Okay, last question for this section. Do you think living abroad changed you as a person?
Yeah, I think so, but I think in a positive way. And I think it's made me think about people that have moved to England very, very differently. Like I can empathize with the struggles that they have with different things. And I think also living in another country with a different culture makes you question the way you do things a bit more. So I don't know, thinking about like, inclusivity for families, like the UK doesn't have that, but you wouldn't necessarily think about that and like consider it as a choice because it's the way that you grow up and it's the way that it is in society for you. But if you experience a different society and different ways of doing things, it makes you reflect on the way things are.
So I guess that's also changed how you function as a head teacher as well, because aren't there a lot of families from different backgrounds?
Oh, yeah.
And so you kind of understand what it might feel like for them.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing that I think about is when you're speaking to like a parent that doesn't have English as their first language. I'm so aware that I've been that person, and when they're struggling to get across what they're trying to communicate, I just remember being that person, feeling like I was coming across really stupid. And that used to be the biggest difficulty for me, that I couldn't ever get across who I really was. I'm coming across as somebody that had broken Spanish, and them thinking like, what's she on about?
Yeah.
Whereas now I'm like, no, it's fine. You're doing really well. I can understand what you're saying. Like, and I will help restructure and make sure that they feel listened to. And yeah, I think definitely I see that in a different way. And the same as like accessing different services. Like if their kids haven't registered with the doctors, I remember how hard that was when you don't know the process, like you don't know how to use those services. So I feel like that's definitely something that's changed me for the better.
That's good. All right, now we are in part 2. Rachel, welcome to part 2.
Thanks.
And it's all about you coming back to the UK. Okay, so why did you decide to come back to the UK in the first place?
I think the severity of COVID was quite difficult for me, and I think for a while I was panicking that they were going to put in another lockdown.